Hey guys, Kaylin here with KBex Global, and I'm here to teach you how to edit your resume, what a good looking resume looks like, what a bad one looks like, and go from there. I'm going to try to make this a short video. I do have a longer video that I made that's about 30 minutes long. I know that people don't want to hear me for that long, so I'm trying to make a short one. All right, so let's get to it. Here's an example resume. It's just random stuff pulled from different resumes. So just ignore the contents. A quality assurance person doesn't really turn into a controller all the time. But anyway, first things first, when I look at this resume, the very first thing I notice is the formatting. So that's where I'm going to start. As you see, the spacing is way larger here than it is here. The bullet points are further left than the rest of the resume, and now these bullet points are even larger, and there's some words that are misspelled. I know that's not a format issue, but that's catching my eye. All right, I'm going to go from the top down. From the very top, this looks good. First, last name. You want your contact information. The location, if you don't want to put your exact home address, do exactly this. City, state, zip. Phone number, email address, and LinkedIn is optional. If you don't have a LinkedIn, it's fine. Don't need to go make one. I do highly suggest LinkedIn. A lot of recruiters are on LinkedIn, and you get messages, you don't get calls, whatever. So you can put that. You don't have to put that. But this is perfect. You can even have it, in one line if you want, if your resume's kind of running a little long. Just have them spaced. I'm a big fan of dashes just because it's super easy and people start doing all these lines and stuff. I don't even know how they do that. I do like this space here or this line here. Obviously not required, but it's a break from the eye and I can see where the name is and where the resume starts. All right. The standard resume that I like is body in 10-point font, 10 to 11, depending on how long your resume is, but 10 to 11-point font. Everything in, I can't even say this, Calibri, Calibri, whatever. That one. Apparently, a lot of studies are showing that that is easiest to the eye. I always put every resume in that. Amy Jacobs, the name needs to be large. I usually have it between 18 and 24. Then I have the titles of each section in 14. So basically larger than the body, but not as large as the name. The name should be the largest thing on the page and at the top always. So if you're sectioning your resumes like this, in terms of left side, bold, underline, all caps, the key to everything in a resume is consistency. So make sure all the sections of your resume are bold, capped, and underlined. In this situation, they are. At the top, a lot of people put like objectives, or they'll put summaries, their skills maybe at the top, or their education. When it comes to education versus top, bottom of resume, if your education has something to do with the job you're looking for, or wanting, or doing, yes, put it at the top. If it's more than a high school diploma. If it has nothing to do with what you're going for example, me, my education, I have a bachelor's in biology and I'm a recruiter in like manufacturing, finance, and accounting. So that has nothing to do with my background. So I am the person who throws my education at the bottom, which I'm going to do that right now while we're at it and talking about it because I think education should always be at the bottom or the top. Always. Okay, so then the basic setup for your resume should be this. And again, consistency. I always put the dates to the right. It's easy to read. I can just flow down the right side of the page and say, okay, they lasted long at a company or they didn't. Then I can go to the left side and say, okay, here's the jobs that they did and the companies that they worked at. The one thing I see missing from this, the two things I see really missing from this resume that I love in a resume is something about the company, like an overview of the company. For example, under the job title, they would tell me what ABC Medical, doing business as KBex Global, does. So ABC Medical maybe is world's largest tattoo machine manufacturer. 500 million in revenue or whatever, just a little bit about the company. I wouldn't make this longer than 1 to 2 lines. You can even take this from the website, just as long as we know what it is, because that really helps a recruiter understand the industry that you're in. I always throw the summary of the job, and the company, not the job, the summary of the company in italics right there. Obviously, if you don't have it, not a deal breaker, but I love it when they have this. Anyway, I'll just leave that there. And then, but if you do it here, you have to do it for all the jobs. These are all the companies. These don't have companies because these jobs are at the same company. And I know that because of the dates. This date shows me that this person has been at this company since 2013. And I see here they started as the assistant controller in 2013. So this setup is good. And then they don't put the company name again, because then I'd start to get really confused. So anyway, down here it would be, oops, the company about them. All right, moving on. So like I said, all the dates to the right. In order to get all the dates to the right, all you do is start typing it in right behind here and press your tab button until it's all the way to the end. As you see, this one still has room. So I'm going to click right in front of it, tab. Okay, now it's on a second line. We don't want that. So backspace and then click the regular space bar until you are right at the edge. So I'm clicking space and then I backspace. That's how I know I'm at the very end. All right, how do I get these bullet points aligned? So I'm going to highlight what I want to align, which is all these bullet points. I'm going to go up here to the ruler. There are 2 indent functions or little buttons I can move around to change the format here. So I'm going to move this right along over. This looks like it's moving everything. What does this line do? Let's see. Okay, it moves just my bullet points. So if they were off, I could just move them right over and they're right in line. All right, so these bullet points are larger than these. Let's figure out what size these are. They should be 10 because I put my entire body in 10. All right, yep, looks like they are 10. So I'm going to click on these bullet points. They should highlight. If for whatever reason just this section highlights and not this one, no big deal. Sometimes you can just one click. Sometimes you have to double click. Anyway, wait till they're highlighted, and we're going to make it 10. We're good. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I am consistent here on my job and company and dates. So let's see. It looks like I'm just using years here, which is fine. I'm a huge fan of months. I love months, whether it's a number month like this one or spelled out month like this one here, June. So, but we want to keep it consistent. And for time's sake, I'm just going to do the years. So I do space dash space and I'm tabbing it over, then space, 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 all the way to the end. Looks like we have the years there. That's good. Years, years. All right, we're all consistent here on our dates. Now let's move over to this. Looks like we have company name, dash, city, state. Please put the city and the state. Don't just put the city. We're not all familiar with the geography around the world. Please let us know what state you're in or worked in. Okay, and job title. Let's make sure we're consistent. Okay, job title, it's the same company, so no need to put it twice. Same company. All right, Stephen Company. Now we have a random comma and no state. All right, let's delete the comma. Keep it consistent with the dash, and let's throw in the state and grammatically correct. Comment and see. All right, job title, and we have about the company. Oh, here we go again. Let's do a dash, and then North Carolina. Job title, about the job. This resume too has a lot of bullet points. I do not suggest this many bullet points. Keep it between 4 to 5. And another thing I see with the resume, I know I said I saw 3 things earlier, which I've kind of just been listing them throughout me talking, but I don't see any data. So this shows me that this person is not very analytical. And how are you a numbers person and not analytical? whatever, not a deal breaker, but not really excited to call this person. Um, so manage staff of 5, including this. I don't think any of these need to be capitalized, so make sure your grammar's right. Manage staff shouldn't be capitalized. So that's not consistent. They're capitalizing like everything and it shouldn't be capitalized. Like this parent company, that's company's not capitalized. And I'm telling you guys, this is from people's real resumes. JD Edwards, that's incorrect. There's a space between that. Um, so I'm just obviously pick and choose the bullet points you want to keep. I'm just going to get these out of here. Another issue I see, and going back to the data, when I say I don't see any numbers in here, I like to see data. Like, what did you do? How did you add value at your companies? Did you, this person said cost reduction at 20%. This is great. This is a good, stat. You reduce costs. That's great. You're cost efficient. What else did you do? Produce 3 year, no, like there's no good data model. So please add data in your resume where you can, because that's how you show that you can add value. And this says insure. Okay, you're insuring too much. So I don't even like that. But again, keep it to 4 to 5 bullet points. I'm not going to keep going through this, but I hope you understand where I'm going. All right, so obviously check all the grammar. There's random bolded sections. I hate that in a resume. Not a deal breaker again, but just I just say don't do it because I just think it looks kind of sloppy. As you see, the spacing is off. How you fix the spacing, you highlight. Oh, look, there's an extra period here too. You highlight what you want to change always. And then this is the icon for line spacing. This is a single space. I know that just from experience. So I'm going to throw it at single. If you want to change everything, all the spacing, I press Control Alt. That highlights the whole page, or you can just highlight the whole page. Click line spacing. If you do 1.15, see, it doesn't look bad. 1.5, that's way too much. That looks like a high school like writing assignment. Keep it either single or 1.15 spacing. That's just your personal preference, whatever you think looks better. All right, so this looks better. Obviously, you got to keep deleting these. Oh, here's an error. This is supposed to be a bullet point. They use a dash, so I'm going to just hit delete. I'm going to delete all the way till it's that one line and press enter so that my bullet point will come back here. All right, so one thing too. So say that this is how my resume ended up on 2 different pages. What you would do if it were like this and you only had, one space here, then you would try to get rid of some bullet points or, mess with the formatting, maybe make this 2 lines, whatever. But you don't want it going across 2 pages. So this one, I got lucky. It's not going across 2 pages, which is good. And then another consistency piece is there is 1 space between everything. So keep it like that. 1 space, 1 space. All right, 1 space, and then 1 space, 1 space. All right. Moving on, I think we get the drift here. There doesn't have to be a space here, but I'll just throw it there. And this space is actually 10. This is 14, so you want to change this to 10. So now it's actually the same. All right. I'm going to hop down here. Other relevant experience. She's putting stuff from 2014. This isn't really relevant. Accounting and senior bookkeeping, we probably figure that. You're a controller. You've done probably that in your lifetime. Delete. Just waste of space. This is good. 12 years back is fine to put in if you can fit it all on, 2 pages. If you've had, say, like 10 different jobs in the past 15 years, just put like the last 5 to 6. Like 7 years is even fine on a resume, but don't get, too crazy with your jobs from 1988, because I've seen that and it's just, that's so irrelevant of what you did back then, unfortunately. So here's other spelling errors, whatever. Languages. If you only speak English and your resume is in English, just keep out languages. If you speak other languages, say that you are fluent in Spanish, put in there Spanish. So obviously you want it bold and underline it. You want it consistent with the rest of your resume. So Spanish, and then what I would put is fluent, like your level of Spanish. Fluent or intermediate, beginner, etc. Again, I only speak English, so I'm just going to delete that. Computer skills. Don't label this computer skills and then put in all the random skills that you do. If it's computer skills, make sure it's only computer. I just like skills. I mean, unless you are have more of a tech role. So skills, you can put your computer skills in here. If you have a lot of certifications, like more than I would say two, you can make a certifications. If you're in sales, a good section to have is awards. So you can do that as well. And then you can list all your sales awards or your statistics, whatever. So certifications, you obviously would just list your certifications in a bullet point form. So like Six Sigma, okay, what type of Six Sigma? Green belt. CPR and AED, or however, probably CPR/AED. So that would be, obviously this would be bold, underline, and larger, but I hope you get what I'm saying there. So skills. Here's what people always miss, and please take this away with you. People always put MS Suite, and then they move on. MS Suite. I think words per minute is really good to put on here. The average is 40. And this shows how fast you are on a computer. If you don't know your words per minute, it's free to go online and do like a words per minute quiz. There's like a million out there. You can take the test, screenshot it and keep it if you want, but throw it on your resume, because I've hired people who can only do like 10 words per minute, and that's crazy. I can type 95 words per minute, but I think that's good to know. So CRMs, ERPs, ATS, whatever type of systems you work with, list them out, and don't just do this. And people do. If you worked with MS Suite, which we all have, but what degree do you work with MS Suite? Do you work with Word? Do you work with PowerPoint? Excel? And if you put Excel, especially Excel, Word, not so much unless you're doing like making invitations or something for your job, but Excel, put what you can do in it. Is it pivot tables? Is it VLOOKUPs? Is it formulas, etc.? And you can even put here, like your level, just like you did with the language, advanced Excel or beginner. If you're beginner in the entire MS Suite, then put beginner MS Suite. If you do webinars, what webinars do you use? Zoom, GoToMeeting, Google Meet? Put in what you use, because recruiters put these keywords in to search for your resumes. CRM, what CRM do you use? Big Biller, etc. What ERP systems do you use? Is it SAP? Was it an implementation of SAP? If I can spell it. So put in everything that you've done and give enough detail without being super wordy. Is it NetSuite? JD Edwards, like this person has in their resume. Okay, another overall tip for your resume. If you are currently working, obviously put present. If you have been let go, you've quit, put the year that you've done. If it's this year, 2020, and so forth. Also, overall resume. If you are presently working here, then this needs to be in like present tense. Sorry, I couldn't think of it. So this is correct. Manage, work, biweekly analysis. This is all present tense. This is previous work. So you want this to be in past tense. So the rest of your resume in the professional experience section should be past tense. So this should say maintained, managed, processed, insured, issued, oversaw, that's past tense, plan, okay, responsible for, whatever. So just make sure it's past tense. Also, general tip, do not use, I don't even know the term for it, but don't use I, he, she, them, they, it. Do not use those words. You should not have any really gender or that, I think, pronouns in your resume. Keep that out always, even if you have an objective in the beginning. Also, for skills, real quick, do not put outgoing, hardworking. These are called soft skills. Do not put anything about your personality here. Um, just it's so distracting from the hard skill set that we're looking for. If you are just dying to put stuff about you and who you are and how you are in your resume, throw it in the objective. Throw it up here and say objective or summary, hardworking, sales professional seeking full-time employment, whatever. A lot of people don't put their resumes on job boards like Monster, Quibble, or Indeed because they get a lot of calls because they have a good resume. So, you know, don't feel bad for you for getting calls for jobs. But if you don't want so many calls about contract work or whatever, put seeking a full-time position. Or if you're only looking for remote roles or temp roles, whatever, put what you're looking for. But know that if you put this, if I'm calling you for a temporary role and this says I'm seeking a full-time position, I'm probably not going to call you because I don't want to waste my time. But on your end, if you don't want to get called a lot, this is great to have. Seeking a full-time position in sales in Florida, only looking in Florida. Like, this is a chance for you to tell recruiters what you're looking for and, hey, don't call me if it's not this. If you want other calls, then don't put an objective. If you want to show your soft skills, put your objective and just leave out if you're looking for full-time, part-time, whatever. All right, real quick, education. Put your highest level at the top. PhD. I'm not really picky about this. University of blah, blah, blah. Bachelor's. Oh, wait. And then what it was in. So psychology. And then if you had any minors or specializations, gosh, I can't talk today, you would put that here. So like anthropology. And then if you had another one, so you had your master's, same again, consistency. This is a really good tip. If you do want the employer knowing your age, go ahead, put that graduation date in there. If you don't want them knowing your age, you want it confidential, don't put your graduation date in there. That's completely fine. If you're worried like, oh, if I don't put my graduation date, they're not going to know I graduated. Fine, throw graduated in there. But I don't really question education if it's on there. If you aren't graduated and you want them to know that, you could put how many credit hours you did, or you could put some courses if you didn't finish your PhD. Or if you're currently there, you could say like currently enrolled or expected graduation date. But again, you're kind of not with the PhD, but like if you just have your bachelor's or high school, it's really easy to know your age. Obviously, we're not supposed to discriminate with age. We don't, but I mean, we read it and it's just automatic muscle memory. I immediately calculate the age. I probably shouldn't say that, but anyway, that is how you build a resume. There's a lot of other tips, but I wanted to make this one as short as possible, even though I think I ran a little long. But thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, suggestions, please comment below. Subscribe to our channel for more tips on interviewing, resumes, anything to do with getting that job, and we'll help you out. But suggestions for content would be great. I'm not the most creative person when it comes to these videos, so any suggestions would help. And again, thanks for your time. I hope this really helped you guys out. Thanks.